All right, hey guys, Southeast Softwash. It is Saturday, and we're hanging out with the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that got me into doing all this exterior cleaning stuff. This will be my old man. So tell him, hey.
Howdy.
He's got a little bitty Odin beard. I've never seen him with a beard or any facial hair in my life because he's always worked in places where he had to keep it shaved. So it's kind of weird for me, but I like it. It looks more tactical. So the plan for today is we're going to shoot this video, and then we're going to go shoot something else. We're going to go shoot some guns after this at the gun range before it gets too hot. But with his background, tell me, when did you start working in, well, tell them, when did you start working in the shingle world?
Probably 80, maybe 1986, somewhere around that neighborhood. But didn't get into the shingle cleaning, probably 1988, somewhere around that neighborhood is when the idea actually started. So been peeling around with it since probably 1988. First roof clean, probably 1990, somewhere around there. Took a little while to figure things out, you know. It just didn't figure it out today and start doing it tomorrow. It took time to figure things out.
And I've told the story in our classes, and I probably didn't have it exactly right because being a kid, trying to remember exactly all these details. I mean, a kid, I've skewed some of my facts, but the gist of it is there. So, guys, you have to keep in mind that in 1986 to 1990, there was no internet. There was no internet in Alabama until last Tuesday. So we're pretty behind here. So I see a few people say that they invented soft washing or, came up with the concept. And while that may be true, it's not verifiable. Nobody can really say that they, who started doing
that's right.
roof cleaning, because probably around that same time, I imagine there was, maybe 15, 20 guys across the U.S. that were who could have been 100. We don't know. So back then there was no way to communicate. There was, unless you read it in a newspaper. So who knows who started it? But I have seen it
when we started.
Right.
When we got into it.
At least back in the mid 80s, late 80s. So you had to be careful about making claims like that because you don't know who was doing something else already. We're so accustomed to having the internet now that we think that, it's like we forgot that there was a time when it didn't exist. So trying to figure out roof cleaning pre-internet, not probably an easy process.
No, not easy.
So what all shingle manufacturers have you worked for?
GS Roofing, which was Genstar. That was the original one. And Certainty. I worked for Certainty. That was the last one I worked for.
So Certainty, they were based right over here in LaGrange, Georgia. Is that where you worked there, Certainty?
That was Atlas. Atlas is in LaGrange. Certainty was up in Peachtree City, Georgia.
Okay. See, I told you my facts are.
Well, you wouldn't, but like
I'm talking a little kid.
2-3 years old. I think you were like 5 when I started, actually cleaning roofs.
Yeah.
I think you were about 5 years old. So we're talking
Long time
ago. Yeah.
So you start cleaning roofs, you're working for a shingle manufacturer, and they have a chemist on site, and what are they trying to do?
The chemist on site, he wouldn't be there all the time. He would only come and go. But
probably like contracted.
Yeah, he would float around between the different plants and all. But me and him got to be buddies. And they used to put copper in the shingle. They would add copper in the shingle, and that's what would give it its resistance. And then later on, they started adding zinc, which zinc is cheaper than copper. So I'm pretty sure the chemist had to do something with that was being added to the shingles. But what's kind of fascinating is back years ago when they made a shingle, they used a lot of sand. And what you want to do, the weight of this shingle is what makes it a better shingle. The thicker it is.
Mm-hmm.
So the thicker it is, the better quality shingle you got. So years ago, they used a lot of sand to try to get that weight up. And then, I don't know, sometimes in the 70s or, I mean, I really don't know. I'll just say 70s, they switched from sand to lime, which is good because that's what this stuff likes to grow on and what it lives on.
The lime is a food source.
Yeah, it's just all in this. It's in the whole thing.
So how is this made? We're gonna do a how it's made episode.
How it's made. It starts off as a fiberglass mat, and it's a big roll. It goes through what's called a saturator, and it gets a little bit of asphalt put on it. Then it comes up through what we call a coater system, and that's where you get a lot of asphalt put on, and why it's putting it on is it's squeezing. There's a lot of rolls involved, and it's squeezing that asphalt off. The thing of it is, you want this to be thick, but you want it to be close to being what you actually want, because if you put too much, you're losing money.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the money.
It's got to be uniform.
Yeah. So
plus, I guess for building it, so when it's on the roof, it's uniform.
Yeah. So then it goes through that coater system, which is very hot asphalt, and it's put on. Then it goes through a bunch of rolls, and some of it squeezed out. Then it goes through the part that actually puts these granules on. And these granules are, what's kind of fascinating about these, if you ever went and cleaned a roof or anything, and I'm sure I know roofers have, but you could tell where they started roofing, and it's all about the same color,
mm-hmm.
and then boom, it's so dramatic, the color is off.
Yeah.
Well, these granules are actually dyed, and they have a minimum and a maximum color. So every time a truck comes in with granules, they have to pull a sample and they check that color to the minimum and the maximum. And then that gets dumped into a big, huge silo. It's just dumped in there. So there's times that those colors is so far apart
they're
that it's very
on one
noticeable.
side and then on the other.
Yeah.
I've seen that. You see it a lot of times if you look for it. If the roofer is good, which a lot of times they can't catch that until they're already installing them. They're just opening packs of shingles and installing them. But if you spread it out over the whole roof, you wouldn't see it.
Right.
Probably not the roofer's fault because he can't freaking open all those packs out on the ground and pull them up, look at them.
Most of the time, the roofer, he'll just continue and roof that house.
Right.
And then the homeowner has got to get back in touch with whoever manufactured the shingles, and then they have to file a claim and all.
But I've seen guys post on the groups and stuff, and they'll clean a roof. They really don't know what they're doing. They're learning. First, when they do one that's like that, it's nasty, so you can't tell it.
Yeah.
Then they clean it, and then the roof looks great. Then they'll have like this little section where it's two different colors, and even the homeowners will be like, "Well, you screwed up my roof.
No,
and you gotta undo it." Like, dude, look. How could you screw up the roof and it be at a perfect seam where the edge of the shingles are? It's because the granules are on. It's from two different batches.
Yeah, it's from two different batches.
But they can be from two different batches all the time. But what happened, I guess, there was a batch came in that was on the high or low side.
It was on the high side of the sample, and then you were actually pulling a low sample.
Right.
That's just, it was so that much range, and it was very noticeable once it got on the house.
So let's say that whoever made this, they've got a 99% quality. That's still, somebody's eventually going to get a shingle, a batch of shingles on their roof that's skewed. And I've seen homeowners that just didn't care. So that's just a calculated risk.
That is a very good point, because somebody could have bought a house and the roof was very dirty, and then a guy goes out and cleans it, and they think that he done that, which the whole time it was messed up from the beginning.
Right.
But
and if you're dealing with a homeowner with some sense, you can kind of explain that and be like, no, there's no way I could screw up shingles at the seam and it stop. It's
if you know that these are actually dyed, and you understand the process of how it comes in and goes through the plant, then anybody with any sense will understand that, you know.
So why aren't these dyed up here? There ain't no reason to, because you ain't gonna ever see these top ones.
No,
right?
you're not gonna see these top ones, but it's probably, well, instead of making it white, using white rock, the thing of it is probably this black rock here was probably a lot cheaper for them to buy to put up here than this right here. But like right here, this is a shadow line, so when it goes up through there, this gets a dark shot, and then you got this color here going on. So I mean, it's pretty fascinating how they do it. But the rock is dyed, and that's, to me, that's very fascinating that it's actually dyed.
Pretty cool.
Then here's the paint line. Paint line goes on, and then of course this is where the roofer is going to use this paint line to put his nails. And then, of course, this is going to be down here. And if it's up here and your nails is exposed, then it ain't put on right.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you said that, because this is a common stupidness. Hey, if you get your roof clean, the bleach is gonna rust your nails all up. You're gonna rot your nail, rust your nails all up. Possible or not?
Well, I doubt it very much. This shingle's designed to be up like this. We're not talking about a flat roof, guys.
Well, once this is installed and hot,
yeah.
Y'all ever tried to peel up a layer of shingles that's been on there for a little bit?
Let me show you right here what he's talking about. This right here is actually asphalt. And what it's designed to do is once it does heat up, that's why you can't pull it up, is because this little asphalt they put right here is going to stick down right here.
That keeps the wind from being able to just flop them up.
Yeah, it helps it to, to keep flat.
So,
but this is all, see, it's all right here, and that's exactly what it's for.
So if you clean a roof and the bleach can even remotely possibly, if you can see a head of a nail on a roof, your roofer don't know what the freak he's doing.
The roofer.
Now, if bleach gets to those nails, well, yeah, it probably is gonna mess with them. But I've never seen the head of a nail on any roofs I've ever cleaned. Like,
no,
that's not installed properly. So that's just some crap that roofers say because they don't want you cleaning roofs. They want to replace them.
They want to pull these off and replace them. That's right. Now, of course, there's nails, around
ridge caps.
Yeah, ventings or things like that. But this is designed for the water to hit it and run off and this dry out. And of course your nails is up under here.
Yeah. So if it was going to hurt the roof, why would the manufacturer recommend to clean it the way that we clean it?
Well, they wouldn't recommend cleaning it the way that you're cleaning it.
No.
Because it would void the warranty on it. So
pretty cool process. We take things like this for granted from the manufacturing standpoint. People have never worked in a plant. When you work in a plant, you kind of look at things and you think, well, how would they mass make something like that? But there's a lot of steps that go into this.
How long has that been sitting in there?
Well, so these two shingles here, we're doing an experiment. I'm going to redo it because I did the video and the audio wasn't good at the old shop. But these two shingles, he bought these shingles and brought them to me, and I ripped it down so it fit in this little tray right here. I got a Rubbermaid box. So what I did, another common myth that we see is, and sneeze. bleach is going to dry out my shingles. You know, I don't want you to wash my roof because the bleach is going to dry out my shingles. False.
Yep.
We've been cleaning roofs since 1980,
We call
89.
89,
So, you know, late 80s, right around in there, and bleach does not dry out shingles. And so I wanted to prove that, you know, unscientifically, but still have some data. So what I did, and like I said, I'm going to redo the video for the sake of the channel, just with good audio. But I took one of these as a control and set it out, and I took the other one and I put it in this little Rubbermaid thing here, and I filled it up with 12% bleach and just submerged it, and I left it for like a month. I actually forgot about it. Came back, took the thing out, and they're no different. They're completely exact. You can't tell me which is which.
No.
They're exactly the same. Neither one is been affected. So we'll reshoot the video. Maybe you guys can use it as a reference for data. But yeah, bleach does not affect shingles. Now I tell you, let me check, make sure my battery is still good on my phone here. Yeah, okay. I knew I didn't have very much battery when we started this, but one thing that you can have happen that I have done. So back in the early days of me going out and doing roofs by myself, I was 17, I mean literally 17 years old cleaning roofs. We used to mix granular pool shock. So granular pool shock will work, but it's different. It's not sodium hypochlorite. We'd go to Walmart and get the little packs for $3, which is really convenient, and rip it open, dump it in, mix it up. The problem with that stuff is there's a couple problems. Number one is it's not sodium hypochlorite. It's actually calcium hypochlorite. And so it's different. It will clean it, but it's bleach, but it's bleach based from calcium. And so it does not like to dissolve. Have a really hard time getting out all that stuff to dissolve. We used to have a drill with a mixing thing. You stand there for 30 minutes. Like trying to mix this stuff and get it to dissolve to a liquid. The second problem is it's really bad about leaving a white film. So I cleaned a post office in Franklin, Georgia.
I remember.
And I called you. I guess you were probably at work. I was freaking out. I was like, what the frick have I, you know, I have bleached this roof out. It's white. And we were I was panicking. He was like, I don't know, try this, try that. And I tried rinsing it. It wouldn't come off. It was just pretty much there. Like, it wouldn't come off. Well, it eventually did come off. Like, it was fine. It will go away in some time. But I see a lot of guys that want to use the granular stuff, and I always try, if I see it on Facebook, I'll try to comment and say, hey, just FYI, you know, if that stuff dries on the roof, you're going to have a white film. It's not hurting it, but you need to know that going on the front so you don't freak out, and you can tell your homeowner, hey, if you want to use that stuff, it's fine. It's really handy to keep. Yeah. It's a good idea to keep that in the truck as like an emergency. Keep 10 or 12 of them because they won't be but that big. Put them in a bucket, and then if you ever run out of bleach, you can mix, you know, a small batch to finish a job. But we don't like to use it because it's just hard to get it to liquefy, and then especially on a house wash. I would never want to use it on a house wash because you get that on glass and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was freaked out because it was like a white paste. Yeah.
I rode by it and looked at it, and I freaked out.
Yeah. But so again, even in the early 2000s in Alabama, internet was not here, which is really a good thing. The reason why our area is so nice to live in, we have guys come take the class and buy equipment from all over the country, and they like our area. It's a two-edged sword. It's Mayberry, which is good, but it's Mayberry, which is bad. So we've done a lot of trial and error figuring things out. And then when I went full time and got involved in some of the industry things, the Facebook and the YouTube world, started reading, the way everybody that was professionally doing it was the way we were doing it. But we didn't learn anything from them. We just came to all this through a lot of hard, trial and error, figuring things out. So it aggravates me when I see people take credit for inventing things that you know, maybe they did technically, they came up with it, but they don't understand. Hey, there's probably 7, 8 guys out there that were doing it around the same time.
That's right.
So
I didn't know what some guy was doing, you know, Tennessee or
who knows?
wherever. Nobody had any way of knowing what was going on.
Probably I remember a few of them going with you like on Saturdays. I had to have been 9 or 10. The guy that owned the car dealership in the next town over, Mike Patton, we went and did his house. And I remember you were pressure washing something, and I was standing on the hose, and it was vibrating, and it made me sick. Like, it made me nauseous. I remember that. I remember coming back through Rock Mills, which is just a little unincorporated town, and I guess we'd been in Noonan, Georgia, Peachtree City, somewhere cleaning a roof, and there was a clown.
We like to run over that clown.
They had a volunteer fire department had a fish fry, and they had a clown get out of there holding a sign. He was down the middle of the freaking road. We coming by in a truck, 80 miles an hour, probably in a 35.
Yeah, well,
Might have been speeding a little
I remember
bit.
that.
Might have been speeding a little bit, and
Who in the world would ever think you go in a curve
2 big
and a
steps.
freaking clown?
His shoes were that big. Like, he took 2 big, huge bozo steps and got out of the way. I thought we would kill that dude.
I remember that time that I climbed up on top of that antebellum house. That guy wanted us to do a little section of it before he let us do it. And I'm up there, finally got up on top of this thing and done a little section. And I told you, I said, when I get up there, I'm going to tell you what to tell him, because I'm up there and you're down on the ground. So I cleaned a little section. You went back and cleaned that since then.
Yeah, and I wasn't little at this point.
No,
I was like 20, 19. I had moved out. We were married. Me and Emily were married.
So I'm up there and I'm doing this. And he's down on the ground doing this. And I'm doing this. And
Talking about price.
So the guy comes out and they're talking. I don't know what they're saying. So I cleaned it and got down. And I said, how much did we get? And you said $650. And you said, could have got $800, Daddy, because he never flinched.
I've actually cleaned it again since then.
You have?
Beautiful house. The guy that owns that house is Mitch Ginn. He's an architect. I mean, like a legit architect. He's got drawing plans in Southern Living and Better Homes and Gardens and all kinds of stuff. We're actually friends on Facebook now, and he's...
Oh, I hope he don't see this.
No, he won't ever watch this. Really beautiful house. So we cleaned that roof twice in the last 12 years. Well, it's been re-roofed because of the hailstorm. So we cleaned it. A decade went by. They put a new roof on it, and then it got dirty again. So I cleaned it. I cleaned it 2 years ago, and I think we did it for $1,000. But it's not a huge roof, but it's tall. It's way up there.
Yeah, it's just aggravating.
I remember you sliding off of a roof.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the first few weeks. You know, safety third, not, you know, some people say safety first, but these are things that, looking back now, I try to educate people, because it is stupid, risky stuff.
Very risky.
But when you're doing it part-time, it's hard to justify spending the money on the safety stuff, because you're not making it a lot.
Back that day, there wasn't no safety.
Really not.
There was no harnesses there. You
especially
could buy
here.
ropes, and that was it, you know.
It's pre-internet, right? You can't order anything.
No, we're not ordering anything.
Here, the closest you would have had to just drove to Atlanta and just drove around and like,
try to find
hey, I mean, where can I buy a harness? I don't know. Let's drive around Atlanta. Like, it's so difficult.
We never seen, nobody knew what a harness was.
What are you talking about?
They ain't been invented yet.
Not as far as Alabama was concerned. It was a very difficult learning curve to get. You know, you take a lot of this stuff for granted. You guys that are learning this stuff through YouTube, he figured out a lot. And then he kind of always kept a job, and so he kind of got to a stage of knowledge, and he couldn't go any further without abandoning a career and a 401k and all this stuff. And then I learned a lot more, and we kind of added and growed. But you were originally basically downstreaming roofs.
Yeah, downstreaming everything.
Lots of coats.
Yeah.
Big long process.
Big long process.
Lots of watering plants.
Yep.
And then we, figured out that you could get stronger mixes with dedicated pump systems. It's funny that, like I said, we've learned these things over a long time, and then you step over here and you look behind the curtain. There's a whole industry doing this stuff, and they're doing exactly what you've figured out, and you're kind of like, well, dang.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had put that out there in some kind of way. It's just. But again, it's just is what it is. So
yeah, there was no way to put it out. How was they gonna put it? How
No
was
way
they
to
gonna
do
put
it.
it out? Put it in newspaper.
no way to do it. It's just it's really cool business. Goodness, way over. I mean, I wouldn't even want to guess at how many roofs we've cleaned if we counted them all. We're way over 2,000 roofs. I know I've done about 2,000 roofs. I just quit counting because I've got photos on cameras. I mean, we used to have them on actual cameras before phones came out.
Yeah, we didn't even have phones.
Lost the whole camera and lost the little cards. And I remember going in little Sony cams and.
Your mama get mad at me. We'll go somewhere. And I said, I done that roof right there.
Mm-hmm.
I slid down that roof right there. I done that one right there.
Yeah.
And she just, over the years, I just look at them myself and I don't say nothing because it pisses her off.
We probably really didn't wash many houses. Well, I guess you washed some houses.
I got into washing some, but mine, what I wanted was the roof job.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
they're the higher ticket.
Yeah, that was.
Let me check, make sure we're still filming, recording, not filming. Yeah, we're good. But yeah, I was same way part time. I mean, screw a house wash. I do them if somebody called, but I wasn't looking for them
that
because
wasn't what I was after.
I'd rather go make 800. I remember we went to Arbor Springs Plantation, drove all the way up there and quoted that job, and they declined because it was the entire roof was nasty. Mm-hmm. $600,000-$700,000 house, and they didn't want to pay. I don't remember what you told them, like $1,200-$1,300 to clean the roof. They had the money.
Yeah.
So there've been some interesting jobs, interesting clients.
Yeah.
There've been some risky ones. There's been some, super easy ones. So, that was just kind of a brief history of shingles and how, I wanted to let you guys try to get some insight a little bit more behind our background and how we kind of got into doing all this stuff. So, pretty cool. It's really neat to see how a shingle is actually built, from somebody who's worked for multiple manufacturers. So
it's like what I know. This may not. This is good for part time too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've never been full time at it, but if it's somebody looking to make some.
If you want a side hustle
and find something to do on the weekends, or maybe you're off 2 days during the week or something. I mean,
beautiful side hustle.
This is what I've always done with that, and made good money. Just doing that.
So you got, 10, 12 days off a month. If you got a job like that, then you work 6 of those and you average $800 all those days. That's a lot of extra money every year.
That's right.
That's a couple vacations or whatever you want to spend it on. But
it'd be more money to go do that than to go out and cut a yard.
Yeah. I know a lot of guys that do lawn care on the side, and they have to do so much volume to make the same.
Volume.
But it's a different industry. There's a lot more that goes into it. It's not easy. It looks easy, and it's not difficult, but it's not simple. I'd say that it's not simple. It's much more involved, much more risky when you're out on a property dealing with chemicals and screwing up things. The possibility to screw up on a lawnmower is still there, but it's a good little business to be involved in. So I was gonna say something else and I just forgot. Oh, so what do you actually do? What has your career been? When we say you worked at shingle companies, now you work for another company that doesn't do anything with shingles, but what do you do for a living?
Mechanical, electrical.
Industrial maintenance.
Yeah, pretty much industrial maintenance. That's
So
what I've always done.
I did that for about 6 years, and then I went to Walmart, and I worked on the floor there, and then I got into management there. So my background is the same. It's maintenance, fixing things, and then the safety manager side that I did for a few years at Walmart. So I take for granted that people know how to fix things. It's very simple things. It's quite aggravating to me, and I have to remind myself that not everybody's got good walking around sense. So
everybody ain't mechanical.
No, and these systems, any kind of 12-volt system or booster system, they're pretty easy to figure out, fiddle with, and mess with. But not everybody's wired that way. So if you're going to be in this business, it would behoove you, there's your word for the day, to buy a set of freaking wrenches and learn how to turn them. Because this is a constant tinkering. You're constantly having to maintain your rig, whatever that rig is. Bleach is very corrosive, so it's just hard on things. Changing swivels out, changing. We didn't ever have to change no swivels out because we didn't have no hose reels.
Never had that problem.
But when you have a system that's built the right way, there's more parts to go wrong, and so it's just a lot of maintenance. That's probably the most thing people skimp on in everything is maintenance. People don't want to do maintenance. They want to let it ride until it breaks.
You go out and you do the roof, and you're there for a while, and you might leave there and go do another one, and then you get back home, and it's just like, well,
get behind.
I don't want to wash this crap out.
No, you don't see it a lot. They don't want to rinse the rigs off. They don't want to wash the stuff out, take care of it.
The next time that you take that rig out, you would have wished you had washed that stuff out.
A little bit of maintenance, an ounce of prevention. So in the maintenance world, there's a thing called a PM. And what does that stand for?
Preventive maintenance.
So we used to call it, you were pulling a PM on a piece of equipment. If equipment be sitting there running, tack, 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 here come the maintenance man with his toolbox, and he reach over and go, boop, and shut it down. Boom, shut down. And the operator, why you shut my machine down? Oh, got to do a PM on it. And they didn't understand that because it's running. Why are you going to mess with it? Because some engineer at some point has said at these intervals, if you'll go over here and go through this thing and replace things before they break, in the long run, it will be much more efficient than running until you have a catastrophic failure or something tears up and then you're down because of a tear up, which may, damage other things. So, guys, you really need to maintenance your stuff. Get familiar with your rigs. The reason I like 12-volt systems is because the only complicated thing on there is the pump. Everything else you can figure out, and fix. Unless you're going to build an electric motor at your house, which you're probably not going to be spooling up no electric motors, then the pump is $100. Throw the thing in the trash, put another one on it. It's 5-minute swap out. But I've got guys that can't do that. They literally can't take hose barbs off a pump. They freaking spin in and spin out. And it just blows their mind. So that's my, hey, don't be a puss. Be a man. Turn a wrench once in a while. It ain't going to hurt you. Get familiar with your systems, and a Saturday every once in a while in the garage, putting a shot of grease in things and rinsing your trailer down if you got a trailer system, or just looking at your hoses and swivels and stuff. That these things don't last forever. A lot of people want to buy something and they just think it just lasts forever.
No,
but
I always looked at what I use it just being disposable because
it really is.
The only thing that I ever had that would last would be the tank, and everything else, I knew that's disposable.
You just want to try to maximize longevity.
Yeah, you want it to last as long as you can.
Like the Titan reels, they're high grade stainless. The reel itself probably lasts forever, but the pipe on the inside is stainless. It's still going to eventually rust out. The swivel's going to go out. I mean, it's got a O-ring in there that's turning. Metal is turning against an O-ring, and you're running bleach through it.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's going to gouge that O-ring. You're going to have to the pumps, the blend manifolds. They're pretty robust the way we build them. But you're still going to eventually have to change one of them valves out. I mean, hoses they degrade. They get to where they're soft and they want to collapse. It's a constant. That's just part of it. So it's
part of it, but it's like anything else you buy. If you're going to use it, it's gone. You know,
Yeah.
you got wear on everything that you buy.
Well, these guys that buy zero turns and run them a whole summer cutting grass, and then they have to take it in and put mandrels and pulleys and stuff on it. Yeah, but my God, the thing made you $50,000.
Yeah.
So if your rig is making you money, just understand that a little bitty percentage of that needs to be budgeted for maintenance stuff.
Yeah, if you're making money, I mean, that's what you want to do anyway, is make money. It never bothered me if a wand or whatever went out. I mean, I understood it was gonna go out. So, but it didn't really bother me because I'm making good money doing this.
It's just part of it.
It's just part
when
of
you work somewhere and something tears up, it don't mean anything to you because the company pays for it.
Right.
And another guy comes and fixes it. But when it's your stuff, you understand, okay, I gotta take care of this stuff. So
yeah.
Well, we'll let you guys go. Thanks for watching. I want to give you some background. So we're gonna go and get some trigger time in today before it gets hot. Hope y'all have a great weekend, and we'll check in with you sometime later. See you.